What's up, folks? I want to talk about Vechain today because they continue to do good stuff. The Vexchange effectively 2.0 launched last night along with their VEX token, which is going to be an interesting one. I'm going to get into all things Vechain in a second. As always, out there, the spreadsheet, these are the first 26 coins I spoke about on the channel that I thought would absolutely crush it in the cycle. Had you invested $100 into each one and you're still holding the bags, you'd be in profit for 85,700. I've held them all. I've closed positions on them all in profit. Just not green. Never green. And I've reinvested that into new cryptos. If you want to see what I'm in, check out Copy My Crypto. It's where I share the coins I'm in. My biggest holdings have been making some sick gains. And they're primed for some massive explosive gains. My smaller coins offer some really nice opportunities in terms of quick flips and in terms of quick profit. My portfolio has outperformed the market consistently. The bull cycle is going to be good for us all. It is. As long as you're banking profits, it is going to be good for us all. But there's so many people new to crypto. You do need to realize this cycle is not going to last forever. This bull cycle will end. And when it does, it will go bearish. Bearish cycles or bear cycles are the best times to invest. It's the retirement investments that you make. I found Phantom in a bear cycle. It's up 557 times in value. So a $2,000 investment net would, and if you were still holding it, would have netted you over $1 million. And all I'm going to be doing during the bear cycle, is diving into every crypto and finding the ones that are truly undervalued. For example, Vechain. Found Vechain during the bear cycle and went through everything to do with Vechain. It's at 0. When I went through it, it was at 0.4 cents. Now it's at 17.24 cents. So if you want to be a part of it, check out Copy My Crypto. Look, Vechain is an absolute titan of a crypto. There's the amount of things that they've done is staggering. It is the leading blockchain in terms of logistics. They also have smaller contracts. They're also invested by Fembushi now. They were initially, to be fair. So Vechain is literally the leading blockchain in terms of logistics. They've partnered with some of the biggest companies and biggest businesses in the world, from Walmart China, Bayer China, BMW Group, BYD Auto, PICC, PwC and DMV as well. Our strategic partners. They're literally all over the world. I mean, you can't go anywhere without seeing Vechain at this point. Hugely, obviously, present within China, but they're in America, they're in France, they're in Luxembourg. They are everywhere. The founders and the team have been working on Vechain for about 6 years now. And as you can see, the solutions Vechain offers is not specific to logistics. It's just that they rule logistics. But they've got food safety, traceability, digital carbon footprint and sustainability, automobile, retail, agriculture, liquefied natural gas solutions. They're everywhere. And effectively what they've got up and running as well is Vechain Vethor. So this is the public blockchain that effectively is used for the ecosystem. Within Vechain, there's multiple cryptos. So you've got Vechain Vethor, Vechain itself. They've now got VEX, which I'll talk about in a second. So the two token system, Vechain and Vechain Vethor, is effectively separated by the cost of using the blockchain. So the cost is monitored with Vethor, the supply and demand, and the governance mechanism stabilizes the cost. So Vethor generates from any address holding Vechain. And like I said, in terms of their growth, obviously it's been fairly dramatic. Their advisory board, like I said, you've got PwC in there. You've also got founder of Long Hash and Chain B, founder of Ocean X, obviously Fembushi is a founding partner of GF Network and Fembushi, and Brea Capital as well. You know, there is no shortage of legitimate giants within investments and within retail and within auditing. In terms of Vechain Foundation, they've actually announced yesterday as well the news about the Vexchange. So Vexchange. So Vexchange is now successfully launched 2.0. So using this DEX, you can swap between tokens within the Vechain ecosystem from Vechain wallets. So it's DeFi made easy. It's very similar to Uniswap in terms of appearance and layout. And obviously you can see directly the coins and crypto built upon Vechain. Or Vethor, Vechain 4, I guess. Now, VEX is currently priced. 1 VEX is the equivalent of 23 Vechain, so that is about $4, give or take. In fact, they've probably got a stable coin here. They do not have a stable coin here. So, yeah. No, it doesn't appear to be a stable coin. So if you have a look on the Medium article, you can see what Vexchange has said. So they've launched the token. So it's, in short, they can do yield farming through liquidity provided through doing LP. Returns are expressed as APY. You've got VEX and VET yield farming. And the VEX per day is around 13,700. Obviously, the risks of yield farming are impermanent loss, particularly when you're providing liquidity. I'm very, very hesitant to ever provide liquidity for that reason. On the 9th of November, so literally yesterday, anyone that's been using VEX potentially will have been airdropped the VEX token. If you have, congratulations, because obviously that's priced pretty well. Although one thing I will say, VEX is not actually up and running on CoinMarketCap yet, which is disappointing, to be honest. But what we have seen with Vechain lately, and I've spoken about stuff like VimWorld in the past. You know, VimWorld is like an NFT-based ecosystem. They're over the course of the next few years, Vechain as a smart contract platform could end up doing a massive takeoff, because fundamentally Vechain is very, very fast, very, very scalable, very, very cheap to build upon and to interact with. And fundamentally, you know, Ethereum is always going to rally in price, but Ethereum, those fees are never going to get sorted. They're just not. They might reduce, but they're never going to be reducing to a level that is any of us go, oh, that's good. We just say less bad. You know, you're doing a swap on Uniswap and it costs you $80. You go, that's not as bad as I've seen it. You should never be swapping anything for $80, right? And part of the driving force behind terms like Ethereum killer is that you can't swap anything for cheap contract interactions on Ethereum. So people start calling Avalanche Ethereum killers, or Phantom, or Solana, or Cardano, all of these, right? Ethereum will never go away. Ethereum is here to stay. But they can potentially take a market share. But fundamentally, all these ecosystems will interact over time, you know. But Vechain right now offers a really interesting opportunity because the network is secured with proof of stake, and it also has a proof of authority feature as well. In terms of transactions per second, it's pretty bloody good. In terms of fees, very, very good. You know, you would use the Vechain Thor token to interact with when you're doing the swaps. So Vethor. So Vethor is priced at like 1 cent, and that's probably undervalued. But I've said this before as well, like these kind of tokens have real potential to run in price. Like what ends up happening with them, and we've seen it with Neo and Gas, Ontology and Ontology Gas, Phantasma and Phantasma Energy, and there's plenty of other examples. Theta and Theta Fuel, T-Fuel. But what you see is those tokens that fuel the ecosystem range between sort of at peaks like half the price of the governance, half the price of the sort of native governance token, down to a 20th. And they range between that level. Obviously, the fluctuations in the market impact how it ranges, right? But at the highs, you'll see them half the price. At the lows, you'll see them a 20th, maybe even a 40th at the lowest case scenario. So right now, this is roughly a 17th of the price of Vechain. So the potential that this runs up, you know, if it hits half the price of Vechain and Vechain's 17, it runs up to 8. There's potential there. If it does, you know, you're looking at a market cap of 4 billion. That's a hell of a lot, but fundamentally, Vechain's market cap right now is 11. So, you know, it's doable. Now, Vechain has a circulating supply of 64.32 billion. Max supply will be 86.7 billion. Vechain over the course of this year legitimately has a shot of $1. 64 billion market cap. It's massive. It is big. But it is the leader in its space. There isn't another crypto anywhere close to achieving what Vechain has achieved in terms of logistics. Just there isn't. It's so head and shoulders above everything else in that space. And as there's a transition to developers potentially coming onto Vechain, that increases the potential for this to be $1 coin. Now, $1 is about the max I can see, because you're looking at 64 billion is huge, right? But the interesting thing for Vechain is going to be how much does it retrace? Because during this build cycle, yeah, it's going to do wonders, but make no mistake about it. In the previous, in the bear cycle, this retraced like mad. This retraced like mad. There was a point where it was like, what? 0.0025. So I don't know if this necessarily goes back to down to that low again, because it's such a front runner in its space. But even if this retraces, say, down to 2 cents, 3 cents, as a proven winner in the space, this could be just a solid bear market investment. It really could. It could just be one of the ones you want to pick. Because if it retraces down to 2 or 3, say it hits the dollar height, right? And the dollar's the max. It, you know, 3x from here is still bloody good. Because that still puts it on 51 cents and it puts it on a market cap of 33 billion. That's still massive. But if it retraces down to 1 cent, 2 cents in this following bear cycle, say 2 cents, you know what heights it reaches in this bull cycle. If it hits 50 cents, it will certainly hit 50 cents again in the following bull cycle. So if it retraces down to 2 cents, you know you're getting a 25x out there. And if you miss the boat on Vechain, it's no bad thing. Like, it sucks that you missed the boat on this, but there's a bear cycle going to happen. When the bear cycle happens, everything loses value. And when you can find winners that you've seen be winners, then when it retraces and it retraces hard, that's the perfect time to invest. Maybe you don't want to get into Vechain now because it is so high. Because 51 cents, that's still 3x from where it is. You know, it's not necessarily easy. I think it will do it, but the bear cycle, this could be one of the best investments you make. If it retraces anywhere close to what happened previously, I don't think it can retrace that low. You know, certainly not to the lows that it previously did, but down to 1 or 2 cents. That's a bargain investment. Absolute bargain. But yeah, for sure, add on to your watch list. Like, not financial advice, but this is definitely one I'd add on to your watch list for the bear cycle, because there's clear progression within VeChain in terms of development now. You know, we're now seeing multiple different projects building on VeChain. Yeah, there's not tons there, but there's going to be lots more. And all you need is a few of them to do phenomenally well, and all of a sudden VeChain's resume is so much stronger. And it's already the strongest in many regards. Like I say, logistics, no one beats it. So, big fan of VeChain. Big fan of the solutions that they've been doing, particularly within logistics. But they're spreading out. Agriculture could be a massive one. You know, particularly if they can start hitting the needs of countries that are predominantly agriculture based, or that have huge agriculture industries. You know, India has an enormous agriculture industry, and I know the president's shitting all over it at the moment. But if VeChain got in and helped in the economies that are dependent on agriculture, it goes from strength to strength. You know, there's a lot of potential here. But this is, if you miss the boat on it, no big deal. But just have it on a watch list, because it will retrace. And if it retraces well enough, it's going to be a solid investment during the bear cycle. Big fan. Yeah, big fan. Alright, that's it from me. Hope you're all doing well. Just wanted an update on VeChain. But yeah, the Vexchange, keep an eye on that as well. Keep an eye on the VEX token, because the initial launches of these often do quite well. I'll be interested to see what VEX actually reaches. But yeah, right now, like I said, it's pricing at around $4, give or take. But yeah, lots of exciting things coming out of VeChain. Anyway, that's it for me. If you're new to crypto, check out Copy My Crypto. It's where I share my portfolio, the one I've built that's maximizing gains in this bull cycle, the one that keeps outperforming the market. And if you want those gains, you want to be a part of that, then you can check it out. But I always say it, and I keep saying it, the bear cycle will come. Bank profits along the way, for the love of Christ, guys. Bank profits along the way. But when the bear cycle kicks in, that's your retirement investments, and I will be sharing the investments that I'll be making during those bear cycles. So if you want to be a part of it, click the link. Take it easy.